Hey guys, welcome back to the Rob Pop YouTube channel, your #1 pit stop for all things Eurovision, and today we're heading to the land of national finals as we uncover the final of Melodifestivalen. That's right, today we're heading to Sweden to cover one of the biggest national finals to occur every single year. Melodifestivalen I've reacted to for the last 2 years. It's always been my favourite national final. I've been following it since I think 2009 or 2010. In the last few years, the quality has been mixed. I feel like they've started to fall solely into generic land, but they always manage to throw me at least 3 or 4 songs that I'll be playing for the rest of the year, and I'm sure that will be no different here. Obviously, this year we're going to Malmo, I'm going to Malmo. It's always interesting to see what a host is going to send as their representative, especially as this year, one of the favourites are Norwegian.
Well, that don't make no kind of sense, but it sure is entertaining.
But we'll get to that later. We're a bit early for starting that. Nevertheless, always excited to react to Melodifestivalen. I am a pop fan through and through, and if there's one thing that the Swedes do better than anyone, it is pop. I'm going to be giving you my top 3 at the end and who I think they should send. So stay tuned right to the end if you want to know my full opinions on each song. But before we begin, it would be amazing if you could hit subscribe. I always get such amazing feedback on these Melodifestivalen videos. In fact, my biggest viewed video ever, with about 26,000 views, is the 2022 edition of Melodifestivalen. I had so many of you commenting down below, and it honestly lit a fire under my ass to keep doing these. So if you want to continue to follow me on my chaos journey, then hit subscribe and come along and have some fun with me for the rest of this Eurovision year. But let's not waste any more time. I'm going to be reacting to this final in order of the final running order that they'll be performing to on Saturday. So that takes me from Sera through to Saucedo. So let's get going. Song number 1, we are beginning with Sera, one of 9 returning artists to this final. That's right, there are 9 people who have appeared in the final before who are back this year. Clearly the Swedes are going with familiarity this year. They saw Loreen and they said, okay, we'll have all the acts we know and love back. Last year, Sera gave me a passable ballad. Not gonna lie, it was probably my least favourite or second least favourite in the final. In this year, word is she's coming back with a banger, but that's all I know about it. So I'm going in excited, hoping to see a bit of fun from Maria this time round. As ever, I've got a cup of tea at the ready. It'll probably go cold by the end of these 12 songs, so let's get going. When I'm gone, let's hit it. Now, if it's one thing about the Swedes, they love themselves a light show. Whether it's Marcus and Martinus or Daughter. I already think her voice sounds better behind an up-tempo than an exposed ballad. Get your wand out the screen. I'm liking this. I'm liking this build up. Melodifestivalen love doing that with the first chorus of songs. It's like, are we going to give it to you? No, we're not, actually. You're going to have to wait a bit longer. I honestly think she looks so much more comfortable doing this kind of song. She is giving full big pop girly energy. She's nailing this. Come on, girl. I feel like that could have hit a little bit bigger, but I do like it. This is a great pop song. Vocals are on point. I really enjoy this. This is so much better than her song from last year. You better work. She wins most improved from song number 1. I was so not hyped by Maria last year. I know that the hype was behind her. I said then I felt the story carried more than the song did. This year, the song and her vocals are doing all the talking, and she nailed the entirety of that stage show. She hit every camera angle. She looked fantastic in that outfit. Love that ponytail. She just looked like a youthful pop princess in her element, and I got the feeling she was more comfortable there. I remember saying last year, the outfit she was wearing was really sexy, and she performed it to a ballad. I was like, oh, I really just want to see her let loose and do an up-tempo. Case in point, because this is her letting loose and doing an up-tempo. Do I think it's the winner? No, I don't. I think there's going to be better pop songs than this. This is very predictable. It doesn't take too many chances. The chorus kind of went exactly where I thought it was going to go. But I'm not really coming to Sweden for someone who's going to take loads of chances anyway. I do just want really good pop songs. And this is a really good pop song, and I feel there's nothing better Maria could have done with that than what she did. This is a banger, a certified banger, because who said so? me. Okay, next up is song number 2, and this is one of the songs that progressed through whatever Melodifestivalen are calling Andra Hansen at this point. Basically, it was just an excuse to put 2 more songs from Heat 5 through because the audience had just heard them. This is J. Smith, the song is Back to My Roots. Now, if you watched my Melodifestivalen wishlist video, you'll know that one of my biggest wishes was to have Smith and Fell at Eurovision. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but J. Smith is, I believe, the brother of Maria Smith from Smith and Fell. So, did I get my wish? Not really, but you know what, I'm gonna take what I can get, the crumbs that I'm being given of my wish list. So let's see what J. Smith is gonna bring with Back to My Roots. So they're getting straight up country here for sure. He's got a very good voice for it, a very authentic kind of gravelly voice. Nice. It's very radio friendly. As you can see, I'm not hugely infused by it, but I'm like, not bad. This is very like AI produced a country song for Eurovision. Wouldn't sound out of place on the radio, but I can't pretend I'm excited by this. It's just so like, this is my idea of how to create an anthem 101. I like that kind of happy, jingly kind of guitar riff in the background. Honestly, these instrumental parts are my favourite parts about the whole song. I really like some of these instrumental parts. I feel like I probably am being a bit harsh about this. It's really obviously not a bad song. It just is the most like generic, obvious country pop song that you could imagine, and I'm not the biggest fan of country pop, so it kind of just makes me roll my eyes. It's not giving me anything new from the genre. It's giving me a melody that I feel like I've heard a million times before. It feels like Nickelback have just been slotted into country, and I mean, I don't care for Nickelback or country. So yeah, this really is just the case of, is this for me? No. Is this doing anything to try and get me into a genre that I already don't care about? Not really. I don't see this winning. If it got to Eurovision, I think it would be swallowed up this year by a lot of songs that are really televote friendly, whereas I think this just kind of, it is forgettable for me. It doesn't really do much to scream out at you or stick in your brain. The stage show is pretty standard. Like, it's all just like, okay, it's all fine, but we want better than fine for Sweden. Moving swiftly on, I don't like to hover around negativity so much, especially when there's 12 songs to get through. So moving on to song number 3 now, and it's an artist that I know extremely well. She's been here 4 times before and she's back for her 5th time. It's Lisa Ajax. She's back this year with a song called Awful Liar. Now, she has an interesting past. Her first 2 entries for me, My Heart Wants Me Dead is still her best, which was her first entry. I Don't Give Up was a fun, sassy little return. She's pregnant, I know that much, and she's in the final with Awful Liar. So let's see what song brought her back to the final. Is this going to be her winning moment? Given the fact that she could possibly burst on stage if it was her moment, I almost hope not. I just heard the name Victor Klone, so that doesn't do anything to excite me. She looks stunning. She's such a pretty girl. I feel like this is already coming from like the same writing session as like Why Am I Crying by Molly Sandén, a classic. One thing about Lisa, she's gonna sing the shit out of it. I love her tone. Feels like the sort of song that could be on like a Zara Larsson album. I feel like Lisa's a bit more exciting than this song, so I want them to turn the drama up a bit. It really is remind me of Why Am I Crying by Molly Sandén. And the fact that they've got some Germains in the background doing some dramatic choreo, but it's not helping. Again, kind of similar to J. Smith, this is very Melodifestivalen ballad created by an AI machine. This is nice, it's elevated by the fact that Lisa Ajax is a really great vocalist, but the actual song and the staging is kind of a bit uninspired to me. She's performing this very well. Okay, positives. We don't have to worry about seeing her give birth on stage in Malmo. This won't be making it. No offense to Lisa Ajax, because I really actually love Lisa Ajax. As I said, My Heart Wants Me Dead, Melodifestivalen classic, still listen to it to this day. This slots about 4th into her entries. I think she's better with a bit more drama around her. I thought this was a bit too simple for her, it was a bit too stripped back. Did it make her vocals shine? Absolutely. She's got great vocals, she always has, always will. But I thought the song just didn't do enough. As I said, similar to what I said with Back to My Roots, it felt like someone had typed in, write me a Melodifestivalen ballad to ChatGPT, and this is what it sprung out. And they're lucky that they got a great artist to sing this, because this wouldn't be making the final if they just threw some newbie at it. It's only because Lisa's behind it that this made the final, in my opinion. It is a very pretty song though. It's well crafted, it's melodically very memorable, well performed, so there's plenty of things to like about it. I hope she can enjoy the rest of her pregnancy in peace, and she can enjoy Saturday night and go back to someone who is hopefully not an awful liar. So we now move on to song number 4. Now we have another returning artist from last year. We have Smash Into Pieces. The song is Heroes Are Calling. Their song 6 Feet Under did really well last year. I want to say it came like top 5 in the final. They really picked up a lot of support. This year their song Heroes Are Calling, I'm imagining won't be too different, because all of the songs they've released since Melodifestivalen have been of that similar kind of like Schlager song turned into a rock/metal song. I'm sure this will be similar, but let's find out. This is Heroes Are Calling. Well, there's no doubting from the first 5 seconds, this is the same band who entered 6 Feet Under, and it is going to be very similar. You know what I mean? Every song they have really does sound like it could be performed by like Linda Bengtzing with a Schlager beat behind it. Melodically catchy again, no, as you'd expect. I'm not sure if I prefer this to last year yet, but it's definitely walking a very similar line, let's put it that way. I think this song, coming after the last few, is just making me think Melodifestivalen need to take more chances. It just doesn't help that I felt like I heard them perform this exact song last year, and 6 Feet Under was better than this. I dare say this is the most hooky song yet though. I feel like this one sticks in your head more than any of the others. I feel like the stage show could be better as well. I feel like they could have gone with something a lot better than this. Because they are actually just 3 people on stage with a laser show going on around them and some flashing lights, but I don't know. Decent. I think Melodifestivalen need to take a look at Melodi Grand Prix this year, because if you watch my Melodi Grand Prix video, they had some really creative staging this year. There was a song by an artist they had in their final called We Come Alive by God Minister, and the creative staging they had like a dollhouse, like a little girl playing with it. All the songs just had really creative staging. I feel like Sweden have just almost diminish themselves to being a light show and like very little else around it. So this felt like it could have felt like more of a spectacle, more of an event, but as it is, it kind of just felt like a drawn back version of last year. It felt less exciting than last year. It felt similarly melodically to last year, but for some reason I just don't feel anywhere near it excited. I wouldn't have wanted 6 Feet Under to win over Tattoo last year, but I definitely understood its strengths. This time, I think this is just kind of this retreading the same grounds, but just not as strong. So I'd be disappointed to see this win. But yeah, my biggest takeaway, I don't know if Sweden are putting all the budget into Eurovision itself and not giving anyone the budget for the actual national final, but I'm waiting to be impressed by staging. Right, we're moving on to song number 5 now, and it's an artist that I'm extremely excited about and an artist that I absolutely love. It's Cazzi Opeia. The song is called Give My Heart a Break. Now, Cazzi Opeia, she was there 2 years ago at Melodifestivalen, and she made the final with I Just Can't Get Enough. Last year, she was a writer on Tattoo. She's an incredible writer. I listened to her music outside of Melodifestivalen and the contest. She's just a fantastic little pop artist. She was on my wish list. I got my wish. Will the song be hitting my playlist? Will it be going to Eurovision? It's about time to find out. This is Give My Heart a Break.
Melodi nummer 6. Text och musik.
From the strings alone, she's going down a similar lane to I Just Can't Get Enough. I love a good string-heavy pop song though. I love this sound. This is some cute little staging, very Alice in Wonderland. Just watching her makes me happy. She's like a cartoon character come to life. Again though, the staging feels very bare, like they've given her 4 dancers and 1 tiny prop and said, off you go. This chorus does feel like it could be stronger. I think the production behind it is better than the actual hook. Similarly to Smash Into Pieces, it feels like it takes the ideas of her last entries and puts it into this one and waters it down a bit. This is cute, I like this. This is really fun. This is really fun. Cute! She's so good at making just happy pop music. I enjoyed that more and more as it went along. I don't think it is as good as her last Melodifestivalen entry, but she's so good at just sprinkling fun, joy, happiness onto pop music. Just making it feel kind of sugary sweet, but the kind of song that you just kind of want to hear on like a summer's day. Always looks like she's having a good time. Always brings a pop of colour to the stage. And I just feel like her vibe is really welcome at Melodifestivalen. Again, do I think the song is strong enough for Eurovision? I would say no. But I just do think it has like its own lane. There's no one else really doing this kind of string heavy pop music, and it's a take that I really do associate with Cazzi as well. She puts everything into the performance, and at the end of it I just come away with a smile. It's another song that I am going to listen to, another song that I will stick on my playlist. Probably, I'm gonna say my favourite song so far, but I won't pretend that it's one that got me on the edge of my seat, didn't get me excited. I wasn't like, this needs to be at Malmo. Let's move on to song number 6 now. We're at the halfway point. Don't think I've heard a winner. I've heard some solid good pop songs, but I'm still waiting for something to knock my socks off. Now we have another song that made it from their Hansen, whatever they want to call it these days. So it's another artist who we've never seen at Melodifestivalen before. Always happy with that. So this is Annika Wickihalder, and the song is Light. Got a very bold, strong vocal. Waiting for a moment, but knowing Melodifestivalen, I'll have to wait another minute for a moment. Oh, is that? See, I don't know if that was the chorus or not. It just felt so like understated. Again, what's the word? Competent, not overly interesting. She's performing it very well though. Not a single note missed, the emotions being felt. Again, but what am I meant to be excited about here? You know what I mean? Like, once you've got past the fact that it's melodically quite good, like, what am I meant to be wowed by? I'm getting frustrated now. I mean, I'm never mad at a key change, I guess. I need to give big credit to her. I'm not giving enough credit to her. She's performing this fantastically. This is a performance that says, you will send me to the final. She's giving it punch. She really gave that some oomph, and I have to really credit Annika for that. I think she performed the living daylights out of that and probably earned herself the final because of that oomph. That was a performance that said, you have never heard my name before. You are going to invite me back. You will see me next year. And I think that's highly likely. But I think they want to invite her back with a more memorable song than this. Again, this feels very expected. This is kind of what I expect to hear at Melodifestivalen, but it's nowhere near competitive enough for the win. This year of Eurovision needs to make Sweden wake up, and I realise that they've just won with tattoos, so they probably don't see the need to wake up. However, there are so many great televote songs this year that break the mould of what you would expect. Rim Tim Tagidim, Europapa, Lenoya, The Code. I think these songs need to take more chances. They're very expected. They leave no place to be remembered amongst 26 other songs other than this is a good song, but nothing great. And I could hear that at Dansk Melodi Grand Prix. And Sweden have always been a step ahead of their Nordic or Scandinavian sisters. Here we go, song number 7. We're moving on to the favourites to win. And I mean, it's hard to not understand why. We're moving on to Marcus and Martinus with the song Unforgettable. Now, last year they finished second with the song Air, behind obviously Queen Loreen. There was no competing with Loreen last year, but Air was a fantastic song, and it's a song that I actually still listen to this day. So let's find out whether Unforgettable is going to be the winner. Is it going to be my favourite yet? Let's find out. Come on, boys. Give me something to get excited by. Oh, it's like The Matrix. Love these outfits. Come on, we're ready to explode. Okay, I actually didn't expect that, so that's a good start. File this beside like Every Minute by Eric Sarda. I thought it was going to pop off in a different way than it did, but I liked how it popped off. Their danger here again is them doing what they did with Benjamin Ingrosso Soul all those years ago, and this feeling so much like a music video that maybe it lacks that live televote appeal. Is it too clinical? Is it too polished? They're singing this really well though. That can't be forgotten. There's something about like the melody that's reminding me of like an NSYNC Backstreet Boys song, but like thrown into the modern day. This breakdown's great. This is actually very good. I would honestly say this is leagues ahead of everything else we've heard so far in terms of being like current, up to date. Not being able to compare it to anything else, standing in its own lane. Like, it follows on from Air, but it's not the same song copied and pasted. Oh, I would have liked one more breakdown at the end, I'm not gonna lie. This felt like it was Eurovision ready, and maybe everyone else's budget went into this song, because everyone else is just being given like 1 or 2 light strobes and a couple of dancers. This felt like a full stage show with 2 boys who could really handle it, vocally fantastic. The performance of it was fantastic. Love the staging direction. If you compare this to like Smash Into Pieces, I felt like Smash Into Pieces basically brought the same song as last year, but just slightly redesigned. I felt like this definitely had the same boys behind it as Air. It definitely felt like the same artists, but I don't think it sounded just like Air. It just sounded of a similar genre, but I thought it took chances. I thought that breakdown, I actually can't compare it to anything else. It had sort of trancey feels, but it felt super futuristic, and I think this, of every song I've heard so far, would stand out at Eurovision. I think it would feel super professional at Eurovision, and the sort of entry where people are like, this is why Sweden are so good at Eurovision. That's what people say every year. It's like, oh, well, this is why Sweden do well, is because they come up with staging like this. And I just have to say hats off, because this is easily the best song so far, and I'm not just saying that because it's a favourite. It's just one of those songs that you just sit back and you're kind of like, well, this just is the best. Copy and paste this to Eurovision. You've got another top 10, I say. Okay, we're moving on to song number 8 now, and it's an artist that I am so excited by. She was like the top of my wish list, the top of most people's wish list if we're being honest. It's the return of Daughter. Bulletproof blew our minds. Little Tot, also amazing. 2 of the best songs at Melodifestivalen in the last like 5 years. She's waited a couple of years to come back, but will this be the time she finally makes it to Eurovision? The song is It's Not Easy to Write a Love Song. It also won't be easy to fit that into any of my thumbnails, so you know, maybe she shouldn't win for that alone. But let's find out what she's going for this year. Is this going to be her winning moment? She's on the floor barefoot. The Cornelia Jacobs effect is real. Well, she's not, she's on a piano. Ignore me. I just love her voice. This is a unique direction to go for Daughter. This is classy though. I wasn't expecting her to go this direction, but I really like it so far. I'm enjoying the intimate feel of it. I like the outfit, I like the simplicity of the staging. I'm not gonna pretend that this is not that generic, like it's not taking a load of chances either, but like, it does feel very organic. She performs it in a way that you can tell that it's coming from her and someone hasn't written it for her. It definitely feels like it comes from a similar world to like Hold Me Closer. She's really feeling it and it draws me in too. Sing it. I really like this. I think this is really making me feel warmer as it goes along. Oh. In her post-Cry Melodifestivalen journey, it's not as strong as Bulletproof or Little Tot, so I would be surprised to see this go to Malmo, I won't lie. However, Daughter really does give an extra layer to this kind of song to me, to set it apart from just being another Melodifestivalen ballad. It could so easily just be that, and It's maybe a hair or a touch away from being that, but she really brings that kind of honesty to me that makes it feel not just generic. It does feel heartfelt. It feels like it has a real honesty behind it. And that's a credit to her as a songwriter and a performer that I get that whole feel from it. The whole way she was just focused on the camera the whole time, the intensity that she was giving it, the outfit, the simplicity of the staging, everything really worked, and I think that is why Dotter is fantastic as an artist. I do struggle to see this winning. I don't think it has enough to stand out about it, but it would make sense in that kind of like Hold Me Closer tattoo lineage. It does make sense in that world. I do see them going a different direction, but Dotter has done herself really proud here. Another song that really sort of demonstrates her broad artistry, shows another layer of her. I think it'll be another top 5 for her. I think it would do really well with the juries. Probably my third favourite song yet. I think it comes below Cazzi Opeia as well, but yeah, a real warmth and likability to that kind of made me go, oh, kind of wish I liked it a bit more. I want to be more excited. I wanted her to come back with a winner. I felt like this could have been her moment. I don't think it is. But if I just put all that aside and forget about how she's going to do in the final, blah, blah, blah. Gorgeous song, lovely moment, and I just love her. Okay, now we move on to song number 9. This is Medina now with a song, Que Sera. Now, their song for 2022 was actually my favourite when I reacted to it back then. I do prefer Hold Me Closer now, but I love that song so much. So I'm ready for the party to come back to Melodifestivalen. So let's see whether this is in contention to win. I feel like we had Panetos for this last year, but I kind of feel like Medina do this thing a little bit better. I love these kind of like chanty songs that just get the whole crowd together. I'm not sure if I like this more than their last entry, but it's got that similar feel-good vibe to it. I just like their vibes as people. They've got such an infectious energy about them. This really feels like it should be like a World Cup song, you know what I mean? Jesse Matador called and he wants his song back. I'm really liking this. My body just moves with them. In fact, it's so fun and feel good, it almost feels like an interval act. If they don't win, can we just invite them to perform at Malmo anyway? Go on, boys. Every time they come back, they just put a smile on my face. That was so much fun, so feel good, so full of energy. They never give it anything less than 100. I'm never left wanting more. Their song Ini Di Man, I felt like took more chances. This felt a bit more up the lane of Panetos, just like a football sort of World Cup song, as I said. So I do feel like it took less chances, so maybe it wasn't quite as exciting. However, when it comes to fun, there's just no competing with them. This would make such a great host entry. I can't think of anything that sounds like this. I don't know if it would do that well, especially in a year, as I say, with a lot of televote grabbers. I'm not sure whether this would feel a bit less polished and professional. However, I just really do enjoy this. I enjoy this type of music. I enjoy anything that kind of just feels like it's inviting everyone to come along for a sing-along. So the first time reacting to these videos, I feel like I'm finally like, right, come on, let's go. And that's because of Medina, that's their power. Good work, boys. Okay, now we're moving on to song number 10. It's another returning artist, this time in the turn of LIAMOO. Now, I've spoken a few times in this video about artists who have appeared before and their returns have become diminishing. For me, every time LIAMOO comes back, he's actually got better. So let's see whether Dragon can maintain the upwards trajectory. Is this the moment that LIAMOO finally makes it to Eurovision? Well, let's hear that Dragon roar. Let's go. Oh, are we in ballad territory with him again? I preferred him in the dance realm. Oh, I don't really like the lyrics to this. Oh gosh, the lyrics of this are making me cringe. They're very... Let's find out everything we know about dragons and put them into a metaphor. This feels very Break a Broken Heart by Andrew Lambrou. Dragons, fire, breathing, wings, like... We get it, girl, we get it. I do really like LIAMOO as a performer, like he just is really likeable. He's got a great connection in his eyes. I feel like the verses aren't strong to this, but the chorus is. You can break a broken heart. Right down to the nice arms. I'm not feeling this, to be honest. Oh. Oh. Fire. The staging to this is great. I actually like the staging. I'm not feeling that, I'm not gonna lie. It felt way too obvious. Every single dragon related lyric was thrown into there, completely just sort of like an eye roll of a lyric session. The song to me felt way too much like Break a Broken Heart from Andrew Lambrou last year. Not saying that's the most creative of songs ever, but I don't think it's any coincidence that we're seeing a song like that a year after in Melodifestivalen. Even down to the fire, the fact that he's wearing something with his arms out, like it all just felt a bit similar to something that we've just seen, but nowhere near as strong. I thought the only bits that are memorable of this song is the chorus. The verses just kind of pass you by, they're very passable. But even he, in my eyes, when I watch him, as much as he's likable, I feel like I can see every move going through his head. I feel like I can see him going, oh, here's where I need to go like that. Here's where I need to go like this. I think, again, the reason this song is in the final is LIAMOO's name, because the song itself is just not strong enough. Bring back Andrew Lambrou in his lovely arms. I'll take that right now, please. Thank you very much. Okay, we've come to the penultimate 2 songs of this Melodifestivalen so far. I'm still excited to see whether anything is going to beat Marcus and Martinus in my head. Right now, I don't think anything has, but we're moving on to a song that I believe is second favourite in the odds, so maybe this could be the one. It's an artist we've never seen at Melodifestivalen before. It's the introduction of Jacqline, and the song is Effortless. Excited to be introduced to her, so let's go with Effortless. Oh, come on, Cazzi, she's back again. This has got kind of like that disco funk vibe, that kind of future nostalgia energy. I'm loving this disco revival that we've had for the last few years, and this is falling nicely in it. This is fun, this is very feel good, very sort of breezy. Here Comes the Night by Agnes. I hear it. I feel like the chorus will sound really good on studio version. I feel like it lacks a bit of a live pop. I'm really enjoying this though. Hey! This is sexy. I feel like of all the songs I've heard so far, this is the one I'm going to play most. She's got it as a performer. This is a potential winner in the future that I see. Yeah, I feel like the production could just pop a little bit more for live impact, but it's going to sound good in my headphones. This is probably going to be my favourite song in studio form of the year. I just feel like it lacks a little bit of grab for the live performance. Like when I'm thinking about Eurovision, because this is clearly a contender, what's going to get the televote going, I feel like this could just be a little understated. However, it's got that Agnes Dua Lipa disco feel that's very current at the moment, and she nails it performance-wise. She's exactly what the song title tells you she's going to be. This was effortlessly cool. She just kind of strutted through every moment like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I can do this. Even though this is her debut performance, I felt such confidence from it. She really sold the performance. Loved the whole vibe of it. I thought it felt really cool, really sexy. I loved the whole vibe of it. And I would definitely listen to this. But this is going into my top 3 so far, for sure. Really great pop song, but what I do honestly think, my brain says, this was the starter, and next year we're going to get the main where Jacqline absolutely rips the roof off, because this is the beginning of the Melfest star. Very up my street, very happy to see this in the final, and I really hope this is a contender on the night. And if it does win, I would be happy with it winning, because it's certainly a song that I'm going to enjoy. Give me as many female pop-bop moments as you like, sweetie. I'm going to eat them all up. Okay, we're going to close this Melodifestivalen video with the return now of Danny Saucedo. He's closing the final. He's one of the artists I was most excited to see come back. I've listened to him since I first started watching Melodifestivalen, so just seeing his name back gives me nostalgia. So happy to see him back. He is notoriously a Melodifestivalen bridesmaid. The song is Happy That You Found Me. Is he gonna find himself a win in 2024? I'm very excited for this! Let's go. We're definitely getting some like piano dance, that kind of 2013, 2014 Swedish House Mafia EDM. He sounds great. I really like this. This is going off. It doesn't necessarily feel very current, but like it still pops off. It definitely feels closer to home to like his 2011, 2012 entries than Dandy Dancer, for example. I feel like I wanted it to bang a little bit more, but there's still a lot of song to go. Again, this is another one where I have to say I feel like the staging could be a lot better than it was. It's like they've given the entirety of the budget to Marcus and Martinus. He's having to do a lot of this on his own, like where are the dancers? This is good, but my brain's saying this would be a winner 11 years ago. Is it current enough? He's just got that effortless showmanship though. I feel like he put so many of the males that have come since into shame. I feel like it never quite had that really exciting moment, but it's good. It's a good song. I don't think it's the winner that I think Danny Saucedo would have hoped it would be. In my brain, the fairy tale of him coming back and taking that crown from Loreen was just going to be perfect. It would just be that perfect, like, end of a long story moment. As it is, I feel like when it's competing with Marcus and Martinus, this feels like it belongs in that Swedish House Mafia 2013-2014 lane, whereas Marcus and Martinus feels like it belongs in 2024 and it's very futuristic. And I think that's its downfall, is that it doesn't feel current enough. And this song feels like the natural predecessor to Amazing, but Amazing was 12 years ago. So naturally music has moved in those 12 years to the point that I don't now think this is going to be a winner, but he's a great performer. I love watching Danny. He just seems so in his element on stage. I do wish he had dancers with him because I wish he wasn't alone, but the fact that he was alone, he can carry the stage alone. So good for him. Good song. Did enjoy this. Is it a winner? I don't think so. So there you have it. They are your 12 songs of Melodifestivalen. And how would I sum up this final in general? Competent.
You girls look good.
It's full of a lot of good radio pop songs, but not a lot of chances, and not a lot that I see lighting up the scoreboard in Sweden. I definitely don't think they've got another winner on their hands. They're not going to be winning again with this. There is only one option, maybe two options at a push, and they're not necessarily my two favourites, but I think Marcus and Martinus are runaway favourites for a reason. I feel like their song and their staging is the only wow moment that I witnessed. I thought the whole thing felt so current, and the whole thing just felt so bang on what Sweden are amazing at. It encapsulated what they're so good at. If they don't go for that, I think Daughter could do well. It's not easy to write a love song. The reason why I'm lightly disappointed is because I'm comparing it to past entries, but most people who are watching Eurovision aren't Melodifestivalen fans, so they would have no clue what she's done in the past. And I think this year, there aren't a lot of ballads at Eurovision, and Daughter is so captivating, but I think she could actually pull that song off in Malmo, and it could stand out for being more stripped back and not like anything else. In a world of baby lasagnas and Jacqlines, there is room for Daughters, and there is room for moments that just take you down a little bit. So, you know what, that could be a good option. How would I rank my personal top three? That's a more difficult question. I think my third favourite would be Sera by Medina. Love that. I always love the vibe that they bring. They just make me feel alive. They make me feel happy and joyful. Second favourite I think would be Effortless by Jacqline. I predict that will be my most played of these songs. This is disco pop done wonderfully, and she is a superstar for the future. My favourite would be Unforgettable, and I didn't expect that because Air wasn't in my top three last year, but I think they have elevated themselves this year. I think there's a reason why they're predicted to win, because the whole thing does feel like the best. Like when I watched it, it really was the only wow moment of the whole final, and I just thought, this is it, this is yours, boy, this is for the taking, and this is why you're the favourite, because it's so good. And genuinely will be very happy to see Marcus and Martinus win if they do, and I think they will, because I don't see how the public can deny what a strong package that they have in that entry. But they're my opinions. What do you think? Are you rooting for Marcus and Martinus as well? Are you rooting for Daughter, Danny Saucedo, Jacqline, Cazzi, Opeia? Any of the above. They've got plenty of strong entries here, but let me know who is your winner and who do you think is going to win. Give this video a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and hit that bell if you want notifications every time I upload a video. But now I'm going to be very excited to sit down and watch Melodifestivalen on Saturday and see who Sweden are going to be taking all the way down the road to Malmo. Sending love to Sweden, can't wait to join you all in May, but for now, enjoy your Saturday and good night.